Hi, and welcome to another episode of Voices of the Elephant. We're here in beautiful Washington, D.C. at PHP World. And my guest today is Mr. Mark Story. Say hi to everybody, Mark.
Hello, everybody.
Now, Mark, you work on a project that I've known about for, almost 2004, 2005. I was in the Cake PHP IRC channel because I was trying to figure out a framework to use, and I found this IRC channel. I said, well, let's talk about this. But you work with Cake PHP.
I do.
Talk to us a little bit about modern Cake PHP.
All right, so modern Cake PHP, there was a very long legacy. Like you said, it started in 2005 and it was PHP 4 compatible. And then we stayed PHP 4 compatible until about 2009, which is way too long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, way too long. And we switched to PHP 5.2 in 2011. And then beginning of this year, March, we released a new version, Cake 3, which revamps the entire ORM, rebuilds the whole thing based around objects and data mapper patterns and query builders, and taking a lot of ideas from Python and from other really good ORMs like Doctrine, and bring those into the Cake worlds and build a really nice, lightweight data mapper solution. So that's the current release, which came out in March of this year.
Excellent. Now, is Cake actually a member of the framework?
It is. And we do all of the PSRs from 1 to 4. So we do the logging, the 2 coding standards plans, and the PSR 4 audit requests, which we get through. So we're looking at doing PHP on PSR 7.
Yeah, well, that was my question.
Yeah, it's coming, but much like Symfony, we have a lot of problems where our request object is a very mutable object, and the PSR 7 requirements are that it's an immutable one, so we're going to probably have to do some of the same tricks as what Symfony is doing, where they swap it in and out of mutable and immutable objects.
Yeah, that was a long and contentious discussion on mutable versus immutable.
Yeah.
I trust the people that made the decision. As much as some people don't like it, it seems to be the best thing.
I think that Matthew Wire-Finney has a really good point around the immutable objects, and that they give you a lot of safety and guarantee, and then the code is a lot more straightforward to reason about. Like, you can read it, and there's no little surprises, no little tricks that are going to happen, which I think is a huge benefit.
Yeah, Matthew's one of those smart people. When I grow up, I want to be as smart as him.
He's pretty sharp. One day I'll be smart like Matthew.
Hey, you work at a company that I've known about for a while. I'm not usually associated with PHP because I hear from it in other areas. I listen to a lot of marketing podcasts, and they sponsor a lot of marketing podcasts.
Sure do.
You work for FreshBooks.
I do.
Does FreshBooks use PHP?
We do. We have our entire marketing website and marketing infrastructure is all PHP, and then the customer-facing application is actually PHP as well. So the whole customer-facing web app and all of that is all PHP. There's a lot of Python on the back end, but the bulk of our code is still PHP today. So it's like 300,000 line application. Wow. It's a monster.
Geez, that is. Yeah, that has to be fun. Now,
And it's 13 years old. So.
Geez. How many PHP developers do you have that maintain all of it?
There's 14 development teams, like 14 scrum teams at FreshBooks, and I think 4 or 5 of them work on the front-end application.
Very cool. That's very good. We'll throw a link in the show notes to FreshBooks. It is a good service. I've heard lots of great things about it, but I just it took me by surprise when you said that's where you work, because I had no idea they're one of those quiet companies that use PHP and are just building awesome. And they don't bother to tell anybody, this is PHP powered.
No, it's totally a very product and marketing-based company. We're trying to shift that as far as a development organization. We're trying to make it more of a tech company. That takes time to practice.
Yeah, you're a speaker here at PHP World. What's your talk on?
I did a talk yesterday on this new Cake 3, and then I'm doing one today on all the things that I've done wrong while working on the Cake PHP project. I've been working on the project for years. Wow. So, screwed up a lot of stuff.
I could do an entire conference on the things that I've done wrong. So, well, that's fascinating. Huh? Yeah. This is how I screwed up. Well, very cool. Now, last night I saw you over. For those of you who do not know, the evening activities last night at PHP World were game night, and it's a wonderful time. The PHP Architect crew has an entire Tupperware tub full of games they spread out, but a bunch of y'all went over to Walmart, bought Magic the Gathering cards, and played that. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I brought my own Magic deck because I'm a giant nerd.
You're not the only one.
So fun thing about Magic cards is if you bring them on the airport, they were solving because the TSA does not recognize magic cards.
Wow.
So all three people that I shared a cab with, Chris Arches and Dragon Tank, and all three of us got stopped at the airport. The security officials wanted to look at our magic cards. Yeah, I think they were just hunting for rares, but. So yeah, we basically played a multiplayer commander last night, which is a really fun format. It's like a battle cruiser commander.
Nice. How did you do?
I won my pod. It was fun.
Very cool. And who won overall?
I think Dragon Man Tank won the title, so he's got the championship belt.
I saw the part of the purchase over at Walmart was a big WWE wrestling belt or something like that, and the winner walked away with that. It was just incredibly silly. So
pretty sweet belt.
But it was a fun time for everyone, I'm sure.
I think everyone had fun. There was a couple people who were new to the game, so those were fun games. It's teaching people some really fun part.
Yeah, I saw Amanda Folsom. She was all excited about playing. Of course, anytime I think in the PHP community, I think of Magic the Gathering, I think of Partridge.
Yep.
You know, and so I assumed he was just going to clean up and walk away. And
he was in the finals.
Yeah, he said he did make it to the finals.
Yeah.
So, but I was really surprised that he didn't take the whole thing away. So, but
that's how Magic goes. Sometimes your deck hates you, and you just don't get to work.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you for being with us here today on Voices of the Elephant. Same two questions I asked everybody. What's your local user group? What's the URL?
The local user group is the GTA PHP, Grand Theft Auto, Greater Toronto Area PHP group.
You laugh, but I've made that mistake.
Yeah, it's not the Grand Theft Auto PHP user group, it's the GTA PHP user group.
Excellent.
And they do everything through Meetup.
Okay, yeah. That's a great group. Chris is part of that. Derek Code is part of that.
Groups in Quebec. I think
Quebec?
It's
Okay. That's right. Sorry about that, Eric. I apologize. Anyhow, I want to thank you for being with us today on Voices of the Elephant and for taking the time to talk to us. And thank you for being part of the Thanks for listening to Voices of the Elephant. Voices of the Elephant is copyright EICC Incorporated and released under a Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Share and Share Alike license. To nominate someone to be a guest on Voices of the Elephant, visit our website and click on the Nominate link. The URL is voicesoftheelephant.com. Elephant is of course spelled ELEPHPANT.